If it doesn't show up, I am sorry, but hopefully it does.
Coming out of turns 3 and 4. Chad White on the bottom. William Duff on the top. Checkered flag in the air. Who's going to win? It's William Duff. No, look out. He just junked it. Look out. Oh, my God. World's #1 streaming service. Hutchinson Motorsports TV. On the call tonight. On your feet. Off your seats. It's about to go green.
Good evening out there, you Stars and Stripes race fans. Jesse Becker on the call with you, of course, here tonight from the Charlotte Roval, where you got to be good on the oval and a little bit of road course action mixed in there. And if you're not good on the road, good luck. Of course, Scott Rickard, your championship leader right now with 190 points, but Kyle McCoy just right behind. Same thing with Kyle Bowling. Those three have been the dominant drivers, so those will be the guys to keep an eye on. See which ones can do their best here at the Roval. I know we talked to the guys last week. A lot of them said Scott Rickard was definitely a road course ringer, so we'll see how well he does. It's going to be chaotic, and I'm here for it, so thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Got to get the chat pulled up. It's been a hectic day for me. Worked a longer day than I have the last several Tuesday nights, but glad I could get here with you on the call for this one and take a look, folks. Qualifying is underway. William Duff taking the slow route through that corner right now, though. Chad White's top of the board. Speaking of board, how is that border moved? Hold on one second, folks. Let's drop that on down. You see nothing wrong. Bada boom. Bada bing. See, folks, that's why you always lock your sources on Streamlabs. But nonetheless, once again, thank you to everybody tuning in here tonight. Connor in the chat already. Good to see you. Ready for some Charlotte Roval action. Some right turns mixed in there. As we watch Scott Rickard finish his second lap. Bit slower than his first one, actually. So Chad stays on top of the board for now. Ooh, Tom Ogle breaking out a new paint. He's been the White Claw machine all year. Whipping out a Sunny D machine. We'll see if it has some speed here at the Roval. The Queen City Roval 100 is what we've got going on here tonight. Of course, Ogle out of Wooster, Ohio, crossing the stripe. What's it gonna be for the man with the Sunny D? He's on the pole, at least for now. Still some more folks set to qualify. We'll see if Ogle can hold on to the top spot. Logan Feschishin out of Kannapolis. He's finishing up his second lap, heading down the backstretch, heading into that treacherous bus stop here. Got to watch those curbs. Sometimes they can be nice, sometimes they are not. He's currently 6th on the board, about half a second, a little more than half a second off Tom Ogle's pace. Blake in the chat saying he's skipping qualifying because he's too fast to start on the pole, and it wouldn't be fair to the rest of the field. We'll have to see about that. Logan Feschishin crosses the stripe, improves his time by a little bit, good enough for 5th. Brian Lynch with a new scheme as well here in the 24. Looks like Old Smoky Moonshine on the car tonight for the driver out of Manchester, Iowa. Goes through the corners there on the front stretch across the stripe. Doesn't look like he improves his time. He's going to be right next to the brother Nate Lynch. Still some folks setting some laps. Zach Kreitz in his normal Red Bull number 9 machine. We'll see what he's got. Other drivers still qualifying. Gavin Salyer, he just got his first lap in, good enough for 10th. Right next to Griffin. That scoreboard probably, oh, look out, Zach Kreitz done looped it. Second lap not going to be any good. Gavin Salyer is still trying to improve his time, though. That scoreboard's got to be a little confusing right now for people that don't know car numbers, because you got Salyer in 9th and 10th. And then you got Lynch and Lynch in 14th and 15th. Several drivers registered that have not qualified. TJ Crampton, Blake Hutchinson, William Duff, Marshall Harris, Josh Gratton. Ryan Lynch is working on it right now. You got Bill Hagan and Brian Pashimi. Not sure if these guys are going to have time. I think we've got about 2 more minutes here in qualifying. Connor says, hopefully no one sends it into turn 1 right off the bat. Well, I do know in the HMS TV team discussion, there was talks about how many spots you could gain if you just held it wide open in turn 1. I wanted to say, yeah, you'd gain spots, but no talk about how many you'd lose afterwards. Did Gavin scrape the wall a little bit there? Looks like he might have just barely got the wall coming out of the final turn. Might have invalidated his lap. Ryan Lynch, the number 3 cookout machine as usual. Looks like he's going to be last to hit the track. About to get back out on the big oval. And let's ride on board for these final few corners here. Connor, this is my first race watching with the new layout here of the Charlotte Roval. I'm used to the one that they used for a couple, 2 or 3 years, I think, in a row. They used the same layout, and then they switched it up last year. Haven't seen anyone race on it, so this will be fun for me. Ryan puts it through the final few corners. What's it going to be for the 3? Good enough for 18th. Going to have some work to do here tonight. He's about 8 seconds off of Tom Ogle's pace. With that, qualifying is wrapped up. I think I'm going to take a quick second to see if we've got any nice camera packs here. Give me 1 second. No camera packs to be found, at least for this layout. Looks like the stream's dropping some frames here tonight. Shout out Spectrum one time. Hopefully it doesn't become too big of an issue. But we've definitely got some storylines here. I mean, Tom Ogle, brand new paint. I didn't know that he had it like that on the road courses. But he showed up and showed out, at least here in qualifying, got the pole spot. And here in Stars and Stripes, we know Chad White's got some road course experience. I mean, he got a win last year. His only win on the season last year came in the Indy cars at frickin', I think, was that Lime Rock? I don't know. The race control reminded drivers right now that there's not going to be any cautions here tonight. So we're going to see if they get spread out or if we're going to have some close racing between some drivers. It can usually go either way on the road courses. You might be having some good competition, or it could just be somebody running away with it. Nonetheless, once the music hits, y'all know what it is. It's time for some of the greatest words in motorsports. It's time for the HMS TV starting lineup. Background still broken. In fact, let me just look into that real quick. See if I can fix that by chance, because something's fishy. There should be stuff in that. I don't know. It might still be broken, folks, but we're going to power through. On the pole, the 11, Tom Ogle. To his, I was going to say outside, but next to him is going to be that 36 machine of Chad White. Row number 2 is going to have the 05 of Scott Rickard and the 44 of Kyle Bowling. Row number 3, the 34 Logan Fesch-Tischen starts next to the 37 of Bryce Barfield. Row number 4 has Kyle McCoy next to Will Bustler in the 1. Row number 5, Griffin Sawyer gets to start next to brother Gavin Sawyer. Row 6 is going to be the 93 JT Tinker next to the 5 of Trey Jackson. Row number 7, the little Debbie man Ross Tatum starts next to the 24 Brian Lynch. Nate Lynch in the 25 starts next to Larry Griffin III on row number 8. With row 9, Aaron Poplin starts next to Ryan Lynch. Row number 10 is going to have the 9, Zach Kreitz next to the 03 rather of TJ Crampton. Row number 11 is going to be the GOAT himself, Blake Hutchinson, start next to the Duff man, William Duff IV in that 17. 78 of Brian Pashimi, gonna start next to the 8 of Josh Gratton. And your final row tonight is going to be the 16 of Bill Hagan next to the 27 of Marshall Harris. It's going to do it for the HMS TV start and grid. Y'all are talking about technology issues with YouTube in the chat. I mean, I'm having all sorts of technology issues, but not necessarily with YouTube. Just more or less with stuff that's usually working. For some reason, we don't have a logo for our tower. That's missing. The background of the grid's missing, but we'll power through. Tom Ogle leading the field into the Juicy Spider restart zone for the first green flag of the night. 44 laps on tap. Green flag is out here at the Charlotte Roval. Let's see if there's carnage into turn 1, or if everybody's going to keep it straight. Ogle gets a good run into 1. Everybody looks clean and green so far. See Scott Rickard and Logan Festitian, they were side by side for third. Festitian with a better launch out of that corner, looks to the outside, can't find the run. Looks like we've got big junk actually behind. Might start here with the one of Will Bustler. Let's take a look. Oh, Bustler does slide. Looks like he's the only one, though. Everybody else just goes through nice and cautiously. In fact, it looks like they're going so slow through that corner, I've got to lower the crash threshold speed because it seems to be triggering on that corner no matter what. Ogle looks like he had some sort of issues. He slipped back to 4th place now. Let's see if we can catch that pass for the lead here. See if we can catch what happened to Tom Ogle. It looks like Chad just got a better run than him out of that corner. Takes the lead over. Scott Rickard and Logan Festitian just going to get right around him into the bus stop. Ogle taking it carefully after getting on the pole. Back to that 4th spot right now. He's got Bryce Barfield right on his tail. Brian Lynch back here in the 24 just got by Gavin Salyer in that 18. Brian Lynch up 2 spots here early, making his way forward. William Duff just got by Larry Griffin for your 16th spot. Lap 3 is in the books. Chad White leading the way. Scott Rickard, though, just set the fastest lap of the race trying to chase him down. Looks like Will Bustler and Brian Pashimi were battling it out. Pashimi gives the spot up, though. Bustler going to have to work his way back forward. He lost 10 spots due to that early spin. We'll see how much ground he can make up. TJ Crampton now putting some pressure on Gavin Sauer. This is back here for 13th. Early on here, it's a little bit chaotic. There's action happening all over the track. Ross Tatum just made his way up in a 9th. Getting past the 93 of JT Tinker. Ross Tatum's your biggest mover right now. He's up. Oh, I lied. I fibbed. TJ Crampton is your biggest mover. He's up 7 spots here in the first 3 laps. William Duff is up 6. So a lot of guys making moves moving forward here early. Chad White, though, leading the way. As I mentioned pre-race, definitely knows his way around the road courses. And he's doing a good job here tonight from the Roval. Scott Rickard is trying to chase him down, though. So we take a closer look at this battle. You can really see which parts of the track Chad does really well at compared to Scott, and vice versa. When you see that number turn green, that means the lead is growing. If you see it, well, it should be turning red, which it's not. Going back to things that aren't acting normally. But regardless, if you see the green number, it means the lead's growing. If you see it turn red, which it should be right now, but it's staying white, that means the lead is shrinking. Rickard had a great run out of that final corner. We'll keep our eye out. See if this lead changes here soon, but we've got a battle back here for your third spot. Logan Festischen gives the spot back to Tom Ogle, who's making his way back forward. Ogle with quick time now, 125.4 his last time around. Let's go ahead and ride on board with Mr. Ogle. Oh, let's take a second. Will Bussler looks like he's ran into some more issues. Let's jump into the Harpoon Design blimp. See what happened to that one. Same corner he had a mistake earlier. Coming out of the corner this time, just gooses the throttle a little too much. A little bit of a half spin, though. Locks it all the way down, has to get back going. Tough start to the race for that one car. We'll see what he can do moving forward. Connor in the chat saying the 27 and the 16 already calling it quits. Are you surprised, Connor? It's a tough track. Interestingly enough, Blake Hutchinson, he's in pit lane. We'll have to see if he's calling it quits or what the deal is with him. But he has hit pit road. Anna's in the chat. Good to see you as always. Thank you for tuning in here to HMS TV here from the Queen City Roval 100. While we're in a bit of a slow period, oh, as I say it, Zach Kreitz might have had an issue just a few seconds ago. Let's see what we can see from our Harpoon Design blimp. Oh, that's a classic one there. Just getting on the brakes there, coming into the backstretch bus stop. Oh, he's off-roading again when we come back live. Blake Hutchinson's left pit lane after a 50-second pit stop. Not sure what that was about. Maybe we'll find out eventually. But I got to tell you, folks, ever since me and my wife had our first kid, I feel like we've been constantly sick. I don't know if it comes through on the mic, but my voice is cooked right now. So if you ever hear an extended bit of silence, it's probably me muting the microphone so I could cough. But hopefully we can make it to the end of this one, as it seems to be ticking by pretty quick. Only 100 miles here on tap from the Roval. Shouldn't be a long one at all, but we're looking at what could be a good battle for the lead here soon. Let's ride on board with the GOAT Scott Rickard. See what he sees as he chases down that 36 of Chad White. Chad gave Scott the line there. Scott not able to necessarily get the greatest move, but it looks like Chad's just going to let him by here into turn 1. Scott Rickard going to be your new leader for the first time tonight here on lap 8. I will say, the man in the 11, Tom Ogle, has crept his way back into the picture. He's right behind these guys. Not sure what had held him up at the start of the race to cause him to drop back all the way to 4th, but he's definitely on the move right now. As we go through our best battles right now, he's dropped back to P17. William Duff and Will Bustler battling it out. Looks like that's going to get resolved. Best battle at this exact second goes to Bryce Barfield and Logan Festischen. It's going to be for 5th. Oh, and Kyle McCoy's right there as well, making his appearance. First time we've talked about the man in the 7 tonight. He looks to the inside. Oh, and look out, he's spinning. Oh, what a save from McCoy. That could have been some heavy damage. Gets it straightened back out, but that battle ended quickly. Bryce Barfield and Kyle Bowling now battling it out. As we look at Bryce Barfield here out of McDonough, Georgia, he's holding on to that 5th and final top 5 spot. Having a good run for the 37. Good run overall for Hutchinson Motorsports. Chad White in 2nd, Logan Festischen in 4th, Bryce Barfield running 5th, and of course Blake Hutchinson. Well, folks, he's not doing too hot, but we'll see if he can bounce back. As we watch the battle for the lead at the moment, Connor Gerard in the chat saying 44 laps seems like a pretty quick race. It is indeed. That's one thing I can say I definitely like about broadcasting road courses is that, you know, you're not going to see cautions really get thrown unless you have a massive track blocker, which we haven't seen here tonight. We've had a couple of spins, but not really any even contact between multiple cars, I don't believe. And Jake Reif now in the chat. Good wheel gripping for sure. He says it's physician now, like musician. Yeah. Yeah, I did say that. I did say that earlier. Corrected myself, but a little too late, I guess. There's battles throughout the track, but this is the best one by far. It's almost a 3-car battle now for the lead, because Tom Ogle almost within a second now of your leader. Chad White in a bit of a Chevy sandwich between Rickard and Ogle right here. Creeping up on a quarter of the way through this race after this lap. We take a look real quick, why not, at your last 5 lap averages here. Tom Ogle's fastest. Scott Rickard second quickest. Chad White third quickest. 4th and 5th go to Kyle Bowling and Bryce Barfield. Last lap specifically was Ogle quickest. About 2.5 tenths quicker than Scott Rickard. We'll see if that updates across the stripe here. Looks like Ogle's still going to be the fastest. So definitely some good battling up front. Only drivers to lead laps so far. Ogle led 1, which I believe was the green flag. He's got by Chad White now and moved into 2nd. Scott Rickard's now led 4. Chad led 6 earlier when he had the lead. But let's go ahead and drop back. Check out some other battles going on throughout the field. Bryce Barfield trying to hold off Kyle Bowling for that final top 5 spot there in 5th. Bowling trying to get to the back bumper. We got a bit of a 3-car battle here. Nate Lynch trying to chase down Brian Lynch, but he's got to deal with Gavin Sawyer behind him in the 18. This is 13th, 14th, and 15th battling it out here. And we drop a little bit farther back to Larry Griffin III trying to chase down Josh Gratton. This is back here for your 18th spot. Gavin Sawyer trying to make a move on Brian Lynch here on the big track. So they rip-roar down into the back stretch. Looks like the 24 is trying to give it right back if he can. Yes, as folks are saying in the chat, that 11 of Tom Ogle certainly is cooking. He's getting to the back bumper of your leader, Scott Rickard, now. Ogle's sobered up. He's no longer got White Claw in the car. He's switched to Sunny D. And it seems to be working for him. The 11 looking like he might have a good shot to take home a W tonight. Connor, speaking on the paint schemes, that's definitely a good one for that 11. It's a sharp-looking ride for sure. You know, folks, I don't usually do this, but let's see if we can get that Harpoon or that Juicy Spider drone hooked up. See if we can take a look around this 11 car. We got it hooked up. Take a look at this thing. Oh, folks, I thought he sobered up. That's my mistake. These are alcoholic Sunny D's on the car. Who am I kidding? I should have known better. Beautiful message here on the back. Let's share some D. What a ride for Tom Ogle. He's working on chasing down Scott Rickard. Oh, and Larry Griffin III has crashed going into the bus stop. Apparently Ryan Lynch jumped to pit lane as well. So let's take a look at these incidents here if we can. Let's take a look at Ryan Lynch. Looks like he just missed his pit stall and said screw it and towed it. So Ryan Lynch said he's done with this race here tonight. But Larry Griffin III, he was out there making an effort. And just coming down into one of the more treacherous parts of the track. Just brakes what looked like to be a little late. Kind of cooked it. He just loops it back around, gets back going. Goes to pick his head up. Pit stops happening for a few guys. Ross Tatum just came down pit lane for what looked to be 4 and fuel. JT Tinker is in the chat. Gotta love money shifting 2 weeks in a row in a race. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate for the 93. From the sounds of that message, looks like he's going to be done. Probably grenaded a motor. We take yet another look at our 5 fastest drivers on average over the last 5 laps. Ogle continues to lead that list, but Rickard's giving him a run for his money, and Chad's still fast as well. TJ Crampton back there in 4th. He's got the speed to compete with these guys, but he just doesn't have the track position. In fact, we take a look at your hard chargers. Of course, the hardest charger of them all, Brian Pashimi, in 10th right now. Fun fact about that, Pashimi went from 23rd to 4th in last week's race, so he's no stranger to being a hard charger here on HMS TV. TJ Crampton up 11 spots. Josh Gratton up 6. William Duff up 5. Scott Rickard up 2 to where he sits now on the lead. As Nate Lynch and Will Bustler duel it out for the 14th spot. Bustler going to take that spot over pretty easily. He's had a rough start to his night, as it looks like he blinked out there, and he's back. But, I mean, he's having connection issues. He's done spun twice. Down 6 spots from where he started. He's had a tough time here early tonight. So we'll see if he can kind of reel it back in, get it back together. As the battles commence all throughout this beautiful road course here. We're about a third of the way through this thing, folks. 30 laps to go here in the Queen City Roval 100. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. We'll keep our eyes peeled for some good battles throughout the field, and you'll get to see them because we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to go HMS TV side by side.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the Charlotte Roval for the Queen City Roval 100, and looks like we've got some damage on the 25 car Nate Lynch. Let's see what happened. Oh, folks, we've seen this over and over again here tonight. Heading into this bus stop, locks the brakes up, wallops that curb, and wallops that inside wall. Or is it the outside wall? You tell me. Regardless, he hit it, and now he's fixing up his car. Right now, Scott Rickard leads the points, and he leads the way here tonight. Almost a second lead over the 11 of Tom Ogle. Of course, Ross Tatum on fresh rubber. He's quickest right now, but of those that haven't pit, Scott Rickard is now the fastest. Tom Ogle no longer reeling him in. But Ogle looking good here in second in that Sunny D machine. I was hoping that he had gotten sober, but nope, they've just got alcoholic Sunny D now, and I've got to figure out where in the world I can find that. Right behind him, Chad White. Having a great run here tonight out of Loudon, Tennessee. Currently sitting in third. And folks, it's a 3-car breakaway here tonight. Logan Festchischen is 16 seconds back from Chad White. Sitting in your 4th spot. He's under some pressure right now from the two Kyles. Kyle McCoy and Kyle Bowling, both there on your screen here behind the 34. Reeling him in bit by bit here. McCoy actually might look to the inside here. The 34 Festchischen thought about letting him go. They almost make contact there in turn 1. 34 puts it around the outside. He's not going to give the spot up easy. Takes it back. I thought for a second that Logan was going to give the spot up. As we get ready to watch from the Harpoon Design blimp, we go up high in the sky. If you need a paint, look no farther. Find your way to harpoondesign.com. Paints start at just $25, and it's a smoking deal. Some of the best paint schemes in the business, including, folks, if that thing is still out on the track somehow, it is. I mean, take a look at this unit. Let's get the drone out there on this thing. Holy smokes. This is Blake Hutchinson, the GOAT himself. This is his vehicle here. His Facebook Marketplace machine. Now, there's a lot going on here. It's a sharp-looking Harpoon Design ride. And you can find some weird shit on Facebook Marketplace, apparently. Blake Hutchinson, a Facebook Marketplace merchant. Anyhow, he may look fast, but he ain't fast here tonight. He's several laps down, back in 22nd. Still doing better than several drivers, including JT Tinker in the chat, who did money shift his BCI Chevrolet and blew the motor. Currently sitting on pit lane. The lead over a second right now for Scott Rickard. We'll see if Tom Ogle can fight back. But for now, we're going to keep our eye on this battle for the 4th spot. Logan Festchischen, Kyle Bowling, Kyle McCoy, all kind of within striking distance here. Festchischen doing a good job at holding them off right now. Sounds like he might actually be hitting pit road this time around. Deciding to split this race perfectly in half. We'll see how many other drivers decide to do that. Your front runners, Scott Rickard, Tom Ogle have hit pit lane. Chad White going to take the lead back over, lead some more laps. Logan Fastician does hit pit lane. Let's see who's going to win the race off pit road. Looks like it's going to be Rickard. Ogle going to follow him out. Spin in the tires. Scott Rickard's pit stop at 15.2. Tom Ogle with a 15.0, but he took longer on pit lane overall. About 0.5 of a second longer on pit lane for Ogle than it was for Rickard. That could translate on the track for sure. Because look at this. TJ Crampton out of nowhere. He's challenging the two Kyles here for their spots. McCoy gets a little loose coming onto the big track. Crampton going to take advantage. He's flying here tonight. The driver who made his debut last week out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Of course, pit stop's underway, but he's up into third. And he's gained 17 spots here on the night. He is on the move. Chad White takes his HMS TV Ford Mustang down pit lane for the first time tonight. He'll likely eventually give the lead over to Kyle Bowling here. McCoy hits pit lane as well. So pit stop's definitely underway. 21 laps to go here in the Queen City Roval 100. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in here tonight. And especially to all of those who've tuned in for the last couple of streams. Of course, Sunday night was a big night. Huge night, some would say. MCR finished up their championship finale. Of course, those of you may know, some of you may not, we won't be returning for another season of MCR, at least for now. So it's been a good couple of seasons. I think we got on board with them season 2 or 3. So for them to be wrapping up season 5 with us, pretty cool deal. Well, let's take a look at what the 77's got going on. Larry Griffin looked like he looped it around heading towards the big track. Final corner before the oval. Yeah, just got loose, mowed some grass. Oh, look out. Oh, he hit that wall fairly square. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of damage, thankfully, for the 77. Yeah, he looks all right. Doesn't look like his car's too out of shape. Doesn't even look like it's really got anything wrong with it. The 03 TJ Crampton takes over the lead. Although he's still got to come down pit road. He's already got Scott Rickard breathing down his neck on fresher tires right behind him. Tom Ogle probably hoping that this 03 is going to hold Scott up a little bit. Scott Rickard with your quick time of the night last time around. 125.23. Tom Ogle, though, matching him with Ogle's best time of the night last lap with a 125.35. Third fastest lap of the night goes to Logan Fastician. Fourth fastest to Chad White. Fifth fastest to Griffin Salyer. Scott Rickard, though, takes the lead back over, and he's got about 1.5 seconds over Tom Ogle. We'll see if that is enough of a lead to run away with this thing, or if Tom Ogle is going to be able to reel the 05 back in. Because Ogle, you got to remember, the first run, he dropped back several spots, back to fourth, and then he dug his way back forward into second. So we'll see if he's still got some left in the tank that he's saving up. Unfortunately, Chad White, not sure if he had a rough pit stop or if he just had some sort of issue, but he's back. About 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds back from Tom Ogle now out of nowhere. He looked like he got on and off pit road fine. He might have just ended up, who knows, getting a little loose in one of the corners or something, and dropping some time. But yeah, it's officially now a 2-car race between Scott Rickard and Tom Ogle. Chad White, he's got a shot at getting his name back in there, but he's really got to dig and drive the heck out of that thing if he really wants a shot at it. But, I mean, it's 22.5 seconds from Chad White to Logan Festitian from your 3rd to 4th place driver. It's a pretty big gap. We take a look now at the 37 of Bryce Barfield. Still, he's been holding on to this 5th place for forever now. But boy, does he have some competition behind him. Kyle McCoy, TJ Crampton breathing down his neck. McCoy goes side by side with him. Looks like he's going to be able to make the pass. Does the 03 of Crampton try to follow that 7? Looks like he's going to. TJ Crampton on the move. He's definitely got some speed. He looks to the inside of Kyle McCoy now. Into the bus stop on the backstretch. He's going to get that pass done. TJ Crampton with 2 passes in a very short amount of time finds himself cracking the top 5. He's got some work to do to catch up to Logan Festitian, though. Festitian about 1.5 seconds ahead. I do think he's got a shot at doing it, though. So, checking on the chat. Y'all are fiending for some desserts over here, talking about a foot-long Oreo at Subway. JT Tinker, a little bit dubious. He says that ain't an Oreo. Looks like a really bad brownie with icing on it. Connor with a very good point, though. Subway's impossible to understand ever since they had Peter Griffin do an ad. It's a very good point. As you see, Logan Festitian dealing with a little bit of lap traffic here in William Duff for the 4th. Duff not giving the spot up easy. Oh no, and he gets turned off the nose of TJ Crampton. Hold on to it, William. Wow. Logan gave him the space. I'll give him that. The 34 Logan Festitian definitely gave William Duff space when one could argue he didn't necessarily have to. But boy, William Duff definitely didn't want to give TJ Crampton any room, and he ended up going around, almost going around, kept it straight somehow. Overall, though, Crampton is reeling in this 34 car Logan Festitian. Let's go ahead and ride on board with the 03 TJ Crampton. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, Logan Festitian, he's not ready to give this spot up. He's going to fight for it. So it's certainly going to be a good battle between these two drivers for the 4th spot, and it's definitely a train of cars here. Behind, you got TJ Crampton trying to chase down Logan here. Kyle McCoy, Kyle Bowling, Bryce Barfield all kind of towing right along behind. No one's super close together, but no one's too far apart either in this little group. They're back there dealing with a little bit of lap traffic, and Larry Griffin III not seeming to be too much of a problem. Uh-oh. What is a problem is Nate Lynch in the 25. Big damage on the front end of that machine. Folks, we're going to go to the Harpoon Design Blimp, see what happened to your 25 car. Goes through turn 1 just fine. Oh no, and he just slides it. Just got on the gas too hard, hits the inside, outside wall. both parts of that car. And uh-oh, we've got issues for Logan Festitian here. Oh no! Let's back that thing up a little bit. The 03 at TJ Crampton just hooks him right there. Don't think it was really intentional. He just had a little bit better run out of the corner. Couldn't check up in time. Logan Festitian goes from 4th to 8th. Off of the nose of the 03. So he's got some work to do. He gets to get by the 77 of Larry Griffin III again. And he sets his sights on Bryce Barfield. I think the 03 of Crampton must have felt bad. Yeah, he gives the spot back to Logan Festitian, but that means he gives up like 3 spots. Interesting choice from the 03. Some people would just call it a racing deal, but he clearly feels bad enough to give the spot back. You don't see that a lot these days in racing. This is your closest battle on the track, though, between these two drivers. It was for 4th, now it's for 7th. We are, of course, going to keep our eye on this battle as the 03 hits the apron. We're going to keep an eye on this battle and any other battles that we see pop up on our screen. But, folks, we're 2/3 of the way through this race now. We're going to go ahead and take our second and likely final break of the evening here. As always, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a live stream. And don't go anywhere because we're going HMS TV side by side.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with you here in the Queen City Roval 100. We've got 10 laps to go. And folks, he doesn't even know this is about to happen. But I think it would be fun to get some in-race correspondence from the driver of the 35 here about his rough night here, 8 laps down. Let's see if we can talk to the 35 of Blake Hutchinson here. Hey Blake, it's Jesse up here in the booth. Do you have a copy?
What's going on, Jesse?
Well, man, you're having a tough time out there, 8 laps down, and I figured I don't think you would care if I brought you in here for a little in-race correspondence here with 10 to go. How's it going out there for you with the right turns?
Well, you know, early on, I had a couple of issues, got into the wall, had to repair some damage, but we got her back out here. We're hoping one more wreck so I can bring home a top 20.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the top 20 right now, just FYI. I don't see it. I don't see you missing.
21st, aren't I?
I don't know. You're scored in 20th on my end, but stuff's been broken, but we'll find out together.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm taking over 20th right here, Jesse, so we could celebrate together.
Oh, we're passing Nate Lynch. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the top 20, checking off another one on the season.
Let's go. Another top 20, Jesse. I think I've had a top 20 every single week almost.
The streak is getting up there. Now, I do have to ask, of course, being in the team radio with Logan Festischen, was there any what was his opinion on the when he got clipped and turned by the 03 of Crampton, but then Crampton turned around and gave him the spot back? Did Logan talk about that at all?
Oh, yeah. At first, Logan was pretty fired up about it, but I'm not going to lie, he kind of cooled off about it pretty quick, so it seems like he's got over it.
Well, I mean, I've never seen somebody just give a spot back on iRacing like that. I was kind of surprised to see the 03 just pull over and give him that spot back like he did.
Well, Jesse, I'm going to admit the 03 is lucky he did give the spot back, because there was some talk about Logan was going to take the spot, if you know what I mean.
I could see and understand what you're referencing there, but figured we would just pull you in here as this race is wrapping up and just see how it's going for you as you let these guys by. Get up out the way, Blake. They're going to run you over.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm probably going to reel him back in on the front section of this track. It's really my best portion of the track, I feel, Jesse.
I hear you. You go back to work on them. There was an apex there. Hopefully you can find it, but we're going to go ahead and send you back up to your team.
I appreciate it, Jesse.
Yes, sir. That was the GOAT himself, Blake Hutchinson. Doing a little in-race correspondence here as Scott Rickard in the 05 continues to lead the way. Lead up now over 2.5 seconds. Tom Ogle, though, chilling in second place in that Sunny D machine, holding it down out of Wooster, Ohio. The battle between Logan Festischen and Bryce Barfield is coming to a head. This is your battle for 6th place. These two are dueling right now. Brian Pashimi trying to swoop in there, take advantage of it. We'll see if he's able to, or how this is going to turn out between these three. Let's go to the Juicy Spider chopper cam, see what we can see. Oh, look out. Ooh, Logan Festischen about got in the back bumper of that 37 of Barfield. There might have been a little contact, but it did not unsettle the 37, thankfully. Brian Pashimi, though, making this a 3-car race. This is the best battle by far on the track right now. Let's go ahead and ride on board with Brian Pashimi. Kind of sitting in the back seat compared to this battle, but don't worry about how much speed he has. He's gained 15 spots here tonight. TJ Crampton was going to be our hard charger, but now it's going to be Brian Pashimi. He's looking to the inside of Logan Festischen, not going to be able to get it done this time. Looks to the inside again. Once again, not going to have the spot. He's right on the 34's tail, though. as he's sliding it out of the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good battle here between these three drivers. Barfield trying to run away from the 34 Festchischen. And Brian Pachemi doing his best to put his name in the hat for that 6th place position. I will say, folks, Tom Ogle, he's probably driving the mess out of that car right now. Lead for Scott Rickards down to 1.5 seconds with 6 laps to go. We're going to stay tuned and see if we get a good race for the lead getting ready to brew here as Logan Festchischen gets to the back bumper of the 37 of Bryce Barfield. Oh, here comes Brian Pachemi with a move to the inside of the 34 Festchischen once again into turn 1. Not able to get it done. These three drivers are trading blows. As we're on board with the 37 of Bryce Barfield. Going to be a good battle between these three drivers. We're getting ready to have a battle between the Kyles as well. Kyle McCoy and Kyle Bowling for 4th. We're going to have to keep an eye on this one as well. With the 7 of McCoy going with the Outer Wild paint scheme here tonight. We talked about last week after his win that the Spider-Man paint scheme's on a hot streak, so you don't want to waste it at a track like the Roval. That was probably a good call out of that driver. And you can see how far up the road the two Kyles are from Bryce Barfield, Logan Festchischen, and Brian Pachemi. They're quite a ways back. We'll keep our eye on this battle, but as I pop it up, the last 5 laps average, Tom Ogle is your quickest car on track. He is trying to reel in Scott Rickard, but is Scott just saving his tires and waiting for the 11 to get there? With 5 laps to go, it's going to be hard to tell, but right now Ogle is pushing that thing for all it's got. He's averaging about a whole 0.3 quicker a lap. And it shows, because he's almost got that lead down to just a second. Uh-oh, Bryce Barfield's had issues. Logan Festchischen and Brian Pachemi have gotten by him. As soon as we look away, something happens. Oh, this is where he had his issues. Oh no, the 34 Festchischen got into him. Oh no. That is not good. Let's ride on board with that 34. Yeah, just clips the back bumper kind of in a similar way that the 03 of TJ Crampton did. I'll tell you one thing, though. You're not going to see Logan Festchischen give the spot back like the 03 did of Crampton. He's going to take that spot. As unfortunate as it is for Bryce Barfield. But now he's got Brian Pachemi to contend with. This is your best battle on the track at the moment. He's to the back bumper now with a 34. He's looking to the inside. Will he do it? Not this time. Three laps to go here from the Charlotte Roval. Scott Rickards' lead starting to grow again. As you see Brian Pachemi, he's looking to the inside of Logan Festchischen now. It's a drag race through turns 1 and 2. They almost touch there, but they don't. They're side by side headed towards the bus stop. Which driver's going to give an inch? Neither of them. They make contact. Festitian keeps the better line through the corner. But now the 78's got the shorter way around through turns 3 and 4. Festitian going to take the spot back over for now. I'm sure Brian Pashimi is not done fighting yet. Oh, and what happened there? I just happened to look away from the screen for a moment, and it looks like something happened with Brian Pashimi. Let's back it up. Oh, Festitian went a little wide, got into him. I think that was just a case of Logan was pushing a little too hard. But Brian Pashimi's got plenty of time to reel him back in. 3 laps to go. Kyle Bowling's got past Kyle McCoy in your battle of the Kyles. Yeah, Scott Rickard was saving his stuff up because he's growing the lead to 3 seconds now. JT Tinker says the old layout was so much better, IMO. I'm kind of impartial. I'll drive it however which way it's laid out, but I definitely have more laps on the previous layout than this newer one. As we pull up your track map here, the 05 of Scott Rickard currently on the backstretch heading into turn 3. We're getting ready to take the white flag here soon. As this battle heats up one more time between Logan Festitian and Brian Pashimi. White flag going to be in the air tonight here from the Queen City Roval 100. Scott Rickard. No competition at the moment. As you can see there, well, you type in driver filters 05 and 11. How about this? This is what we want to see. You can see there the track map top right, Tom Ogle. Can't really see him on the screen, but he's not that far behind your race leader, Scott Rickard. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch him. He's 3.5 seconds back. And Scott Rickard with only 2 more dangerous corners before he gets to lock it up and take home win number 2 on the season and extend his points lead. A little bit of traffic to deal with here for Scott Rickard, but that's not going to mean a whole lot to him. Heading into the final corner here. Across the stripe, Scott Rickard takes home win number 2 on the season. Tom Ogle with his best finish on the season with 2nd. And we got to wait quite a bit for Chad White to cross the line to finish out your podium. But this battle between Logan Festitian and Brian Pashimi is not done. They're headed onto the back stretch now. Kyle Bowling, Kyle McCoy. Gonna finish it up here. Finish 4th and 5th. But we keep an eye here. Brian Pashimi's gonna have one more shot at Logan Festitian. Does he have enough? Looks like he locked it up heading into those corners there. And with the lead up to a 2nd, as long as Logan Festitian doesn't choke, he's going to bring home 6th. he does hold on to that spot. But Scott Rickard is the man of the hour. After leading 34 of your 44 laps here tonight at the Charlotte Roval, Scott Rickard brings home win number 2 on the season. We're going to take a quick break and watch Scott Rickard burn it down here on the front stretch. And then we'll have some driver interviews for you folks. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, back live here from Charlotte as Scott Rickard takes home the win for his second on the season. Tom Ogle second, Chad White third. Of course, hard charger of the night was Brian Pashimi. And Scott Rickard with the fastest lap of the night. But with no further ado, let's go ahead and chat with your third spot on the podium, Mr. Chad White in that 36. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Chad, it's Jesse up here in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Jesse.
It's good to talk to you here, man. You bring home third. I was talking you up before the race started about how your win last season came at a road course, although that was in the Indy cars. But regardless, you showed up here tonight, got third. Go ahead and talk us through that race. I mean, the first run, it seemed like you had something for Tom and Scott, and then they kind of ran away there at the end.
Yeah, I started burning my stuff up a little bit, and I didn't really, didn't want to cause a wreck with Scott there at the very beginning. But whenever he got by me and then Tom got back by me, we were kind of even on lap times, and then I didn't catch that they were coming into the pit, so I had to make another lap around. So I lost a lot of ground making the extra lap. But yeah, and then just couldn't really make it up.
I mean, you did good overall, though. I mean, the gap back to fourth, Kyle Bowling being over 26 seconds. That's kind of crazy, but I mean, that's kind of what happens when you get to these road courses. Sometimes with no yellows, it can get really spread out.
Yeah, the top three felt like we were in a league of our own, and then the Scott and Tom were obviously separated for me. But yeah, it was fun. It's nice to actually get one of these finished. That's DNF 2 weeks in a row, and then actually have a podium finish feels pretty good.
And last thing before we get to the shout outs, I know that before the race you were trying your best to pass on some tips to your team owner, Blake Hutchinson. Are you a little bit disappointed in his performance, finishing, I believe, 8 or 9 laps down?
Hey, I will say he came a long way whenever he was practicing before the race started. I didn't think he was even going to finish 10 laps, and he stuck it out and made the whole race. So, and started actually running a minute, pretty respectable lap times there towards the end.
Yeah, I did see a clip before the race from practice where he went flying by you heading into the bus stop on the backstretch. Maybe we can show the fans at home that before we sign out tonight. That was something.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a jump scare. I'm not gonna lie. That.
But regardless, you did a great job tonight, bringing home 3rd place. If you got any shout outs, man, go ahead and let them rip.
Yeah, shout out to the guys that run this league. It's a fun league. Everybody's, all the drivers respectful, and nobody really has a problem with each other. Everybody's clean. Shout out to you guys. Obviously, you're on the hood of my car, so just thanks for coming and doing this for us. And shout out to you for doing these live. I know the plan wasn't to do live beginning of the year, but I think you've missed one, maybe, if that.
Yeah, I ended up doing the first one of the season delayed, but it's just a little bit easier to do them live. There's a few things that right now are a little bit more difficult to do delayed than live, but I think that's getting worked on. So if I ever end up having to miss one, maybe it'll be a bit easier. But thankfully, the work schedule's been easy to me and kind on Tuesdays, and we've been able to get it done.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, congrats on the P3 again tonight, Chad White. Great job.
All right, thank you, Jesse.
That's going to do it with no further ado. Let's talk to the man. I thought he had sobered up finally, having Sunny D on the car, but it turns out it's an alcoholic version of Sunny D. But let's see what he's got to say. Hey, Tom, it's Jesse up here in the HMS TV booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Man, you finished 2nd here tonight, challenging Scott Rickard all night, and you led some you qualified on the pole, and you looked like you were going to battle for the lead there, and then Scott kind of ran away at the end. Talk us through this race for you.
It's a miracle. When I got the pole, I kind of thought I had a bad lap, and it stuck, and I was shocked. So then, I wanted to save a little bit of tire because this thing would burn the back tires off. But those guys just went so hard at the beginning, I kind of let them go. So I think at one point I was back to 4th or 5th. And then I just kind of waited, and they burnt their tires off. And then Scott's so good and smooth. And at one point he messed up the chicane on the front stretch, and I caught him, but I just couldn't get off the corner to pass him. And he's good, man. He's just so good. Second to him is there's a reason he wins all these races,
Well, and he was definitely, I specifically remember from last week talking to the guys at the end of that race, talking to Kyle McCoy, Kyle Bowling, those guys, and they were pretty locked in that Scott was going to have a good race tonight. But I don't think anyone was really thinking that you were going to be a top 3 driver here tonight coming in, and you did a fantastic job.
The past year, I really worked on my road course race. So many leagues like that I run in have several road course races. Used to, you just survived and hoped for the best. So I kind of put my head down, and then I ran the Rolex and just in the Roar. And I just kind of tried to get some laps on road courses and calm down a little bit,
Yeah, that's the Rolex 24. It's one of my favorite experiences on iRacing. There's something about when you're driving your 90th lap in this car around Daytona on the road course, and it's 3:30 in the morning, and you're just kind of delirious talking to your friends, and at least hoping you have somebody online to keep you awake. It's quite an experience.
100%. It is. I've done it several times. I haven't yet to have a pretty good run, but I still do it, But yeah, I was real happy with the pole, and I'll take a second. I told my guys, I was like, I'll take a top 10. I just want to stay on track. And I got into practice, and I was faster than I thought I was going to be. So I was happy. Listen, this is a gift. This is a miracle. I don't think anybody had me top 3 on their bingo card. So I just tried to save my back tires. And I thought if Scott could make a mistake, I could maybe have a shot at him, but he just didn't. And he kind of worked through the lap traffic way better than I did. So I'm real happy with second, though.
Yeah, they do call him the GOAT for a reason. Old Scott Rickety
Right,
extends his
exactly.
points lead. And I do have one more thing to ask you before we get to the shout-outs. Like, you're using a different paint scheme. I don't know if it was intentional, but you're rocking a different paint scheme, the Sunny D. I thought you had finally sobered up and moved off the White Claws, and then I realized
they're
this
the
is for Sunny D
vodkas.
seltzers.
Yeah, I like those. I had to give up the hard stuff. I can't handle the White Claws at my age anymore, so I had to switch to the Sunny D's. The White Claw were just too much at my age.
Dude, I gotta
got
track down some of these
light
Sunny
stuff.
D seltzers because like
So good.
that sounds delicious.
So tasty. So good. So tasty. I
Anyways,
can't recommend them enough.
if you got any shout outs you want to give tonight, go ahead and let them rip.
You know what? There's a guy that helped me a ton. His name's Courtney Nelson. He sometimes races in this league. He did a lap for me and like showed me some lines and stuff. I really appreciated him helping me. And then just the guys on my team helping me talk, Trey and Brian Lynch and guys put on the league, and you guys for broadcasting.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations
Thank you.
on bringing
Thank
home
you.
the second place, Tom Ogle.
Yep, no problem.
All right, folks, without any farther ado, it's going to be time to interview the man of the night. 35 lap sled, by far the most lap sled, and the fastest lap of the night goes to the man, they call him the GOAT, second one of the season. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Scott, it's Jesse here in the HMS TV booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Man, it looked a little bit questionable at the beginning. Chad White with the lead, Tom Ogle with the pole, and I started to wonder, all those guys that said last week you'd be one to watch tonight, were they telling the truth? And it only took you 9 laps to get up front, and you showed us why they said that. Good, dominant race for you tonight. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I did not feel comfortable at all with this setup. I could not. Some corners it wanted to turn a lot. Some corners it didn't want to turn at all. It's very sketchy corner to corner where it felt like it changed almost all the time. So eventually got a decent pace where I could just kind of ride, and most of the time. Sometimes I still mess up some of the corners because it's just sketchy here with the new layout where I'm not used to it yet. It's only the second time I've raced here, and it's sketchy over track now with not being used to it like I was the old one.
Yeah, I just got done talking with Tom Ogle, who finished second. He was talking about how this car, it definitely seems to you can burn the tires off here if you're not being careful. And he said that he was saving them in the first stint there and was able to start reeling you guys down. Were you having any trouble keeping tires on it? It looks like you definitely were able to on the second run.
Yeah, the second run I did better. But, well, for me at least, it was more the fronts, just because the way to hairpin and the chicane, the front stretch, where like you're turning and braking, it's just so easy to lock up a tire even a little bit, and just every time you do that, it just takes up some tire life, and then you're trying to make up for it with the gas on the exit and sliding them more, and you gotta be patient, but you still gotta make a lot of time. You can't just be too slow trying to save tire.
Well, regardless of saving tire or not, you're going to extend your points lead for sure, and you bring home the second win on the season. You're setting yourself up for potentially championship number 4. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it's got to feel pretty good to have this strong of a start to the season, don't you think?
Yeah, this type of track I'm usually good enough to finish good enough anyway. The past couple weeks where I finished pretty decent along runs on them tracks have been better than I usually do in this car. So it's been better overall than I thought I would be into the season, with being on new pedals for the first time in years and adjusting. So I'll take what I'm getting right now.
And the final thing I want to ask you before I get to interviews, and it's something I wish I would have asked the other guys had I thought about it. What's it got to feel like to be staring down iRacing Super Speedway next week on the schedule?
Oh, I go into every super speedway the same way of playing to be flipping it to the catch fence. So that's about what I plan to do next week before the race, and we'll see if I survive to the end. We're doing better than I expected, and if not, I'm not disappointed.
I gotta be honest, I'm pretty sure, I'd be far-fetched to think otherwise, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the first time iRacing Super Speedway has been featured on HMS TV. I don't think it's been featured otherwise, so that's sure to be an interesting race, and I'm excited for it. Hopefully you are.
I know we raced it in this car like years ago. I think the first season we did this car for like I think it was the All-Star race for that season. So some of us have done it with this car in this league, but it's been 5 years since then. So, and I know last time I drove a stock car there, I can't tell you. It's probably been at least a year or two since that, even for me.
All right. Well, regardless, you bring home the win here tonight. Dominant performance here on the lefts and rights. And you got any shout-outs you want to make? Go ahead and let them rip, man.
I got to thank Team Watson Racing Setups, my dog that's in the room, and everybody puts this race on.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us here tonight, and congratulations one more time on the win tonight, Scott Rickard.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight from HMS TV. It's Jesse Becker here in the booth with you. Stay tuned tomorrow night. Tune into some GLSR action. Blake Hutchinson is going to be on the call for that one. It's sure to be a good time. Without further ado, Larry McReynolds, go ahead and tell these people what they need to do.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed. 42 right there with him. Smokes him. Oh my goodness! Oh! The whole field is junk. It's a parking lot. They door slam each other. Checkered flag in the air. It's gonna be too close to call. Oh, he just got smoked. Oh my goodness! He got dumped in IMSA racing. Caution is out. Oh, saw a lot. Oh! He's dead! Doing each other with their junks and checkered flag.